what do you think about this lens for vlogging? Hey, as I mentioned in my previous video, I'm trying to go out more to shoot videos and also to tell you a little bit more about myself. But the main topic of this one video is to figure out whether we can use the RF 35mm f1.8 for vlogging just after the intro. What's up guys, Nemperlani here and welcome back to a new video. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. If not, just hit the like button. Well, right now I'm using the 10 to 18 millimeters. So this place you're seeing with stores is in Parla. It's a place like 15 miles away from downtown Madrid. The perfect lens for vlogging for the Canon EOS R or R5 and R6 is the RF 15 to 35 millimeters f2.8. However, that lens is kind of expensive. I mean, really expensive. So let's say there are alternatives. For example, right now I'm using the 10 to 18 millimeters and it does its job. I mean, with its limitations, but it works. I mean, I'm not from Madrid. I'm not even Spanish, by the way. I have lived in many different places, like 3 continents and many different nations. Like in the United States, Virginia, Maryland, Washington DC. I went to UVA, but I have also lived in New York. And in Europe, in Paris, Nice, France, London, Bedford, in England, in Rome, Turin, Milan, in Italy, in Tunisia, and then I ended up here in Spain. How do I like it? Honestly, I can't tell. I've always thought that Spain and Madrid in the specific was a wonderful place, but you know, these days, I'm living here, but I can't really say I'm actually living here, if you know what I mean. And by the way, I'm just randomly walking around near the stores here. But now, let's go back to the main topic of this video, whether we can use or not the RF 35mm 1.8 for vlogging. Give me 1 second. And here it is. This is the Canon EOS R with the RF 35mm f1.8. It's on a Joby Gorilla Pod 5K. My arm fully extended, and this is the view you get from this lens. Well, now the aperture is at f1.8. So there is a very nice shallow depth of field, but if you're a vlogger, I don't think you need that. You rather need to show the things behind you. Stabilization on, both on the lens and in the camera, the electronic stabilization. So let me know what you think about it. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe if you ain't already. And check the links in the description to see all my gear and stuff and things. My gear. Okay, now aperture f2.8. Still, we have a great, awesome shallow depth of field. And let's see if we go to f4. 1 second. f4. I mean, still we have a great depth of field. What do you think about it? Leave a comment down below. Okay, let's keep going. Stabilization currently off. I mean, I'm using just the one of the lens. I'm going to activate again the electronic stabilization on the camera. And here it is. Stabilization on. It crops a tiny little bit, the electronic stabilization, and I feel like it's very tight. I have to extend my arm completely to frame myself decently so that you can see something behind me. Now the enhanced stabilization is on, so it should be very smooth, but it crops a little bit more. I mean, it was already tight in the beginning, so now it's even tighter. And consider, I say it again, that my arm is fully extended with the Joby Gorilla Pod. What can I possibly say about this lens besides the fact that it's awesome, it's wonderful? Look, now is f2.8 to look at the shallow depth of field behind me. I mean, it's like awesome. It's a native lens RF for the Canon EOS R, R6, R5, so that means it works perfectly. You can shoot at any frame rates like the 24, 30, 60, and if you want 120 frames per second, even though it's in 720. But I mean, the option is there. It's not like when you use an EFS lens that doesn't give you that option when you use it on the Canon EOS R. So this is a native lens. You don't need the adapter. It works perfectly. The quality is great. But what do you think about this lens for vlogging? I mean, you've seen it's kind of tight. I mean, it might work for some of you if you like the shallow depth of field, the quality of the colors, the stabilization. But again, it's totally up to you. You've seen what I saw from the LCD screen. It's just my face there in the middle and a little bit of something in the background that was also blurred, which is good. It looks cinematic. But you really need that for vlogging. So think about it. Personally, for vlogging, I'll keep using the 10 to 18 millimeters, the EFS lens, and I'll try to walk around the negative things about it when using it on the EOS R, like the lack of high frame rates, for example. For what concerns the maximum aperture, it's not a problem, because if I vlog, I also want to be able to show you what's behind me. So again, is this lens good for vlogging? It always depends. For sure, when it's on a Joby Gorilla Pod and you walk around talking, you don't see much of the background, that's for sure. But again, it depends on your style, if you like that. Something more like personal, right? For me, that wouldn't work. So just let me know what you think about it. Leave a comment down below and hit the like button and subscribe if you ain't already. I always say that. But if I should bring only 2 lenses with me for vlogging, and I'm gonna do that. One would be the 10 to 18 millimeters, because I don't want to spend 3 grand on a lens yet for the 15 to 35 millimeters. It's so expensive. And either the nifty 50 or this awesome 35 millimeters, because it gives me more flexibility, more than the 50 millimeters, because I remind you that this RF 35 millimeters 1.8 is also a macro lens, and that makes it possible to do more things. Think about it. Alright, we're almost done. Before we go, please let me know in the comments down below where you're from, or at least from where you're watching this video. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you ain't already. And I will see you guys very soon in the next video.